that a beer, Brian?
No, it is not. Fatboy FadeAway Sports, episode 199, here with you live. There is no, Brian is off the teddies, which we're liking. He's out having a good, strong week, getting the post there on the fitness as we were talking in before coming in here. Boys, Sunday morning, we got a week before Thanksgiving, or a couple weeks before Thanksgiving, getting a little cooler outside. How we doing, T? How we doing? You got a big day ahead of you?
Nah, I'm doing well. I mean, we got good Bay Area sports. The sports are back. The Warriors are playing the best basketball they've played in a couple of years, and Niners, big game against the big rivals in the Seattle Seahawks. I'm excited for this.
And Casey joining us with the Ace hat. I had a guy come up to me the other day when I was wearing mine. He's like, "Are you still a fan?" Like, yeah. So we'll see. Let's see as we get closer to spring baseball, if we wear that hat, will we get tomatoes thrown at us outside what's up, Casey? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Really excited for a little NFL Sunday today. Should be some good games, hopefully. Good, at least two games that I'm really looking forward to. But
yeah, Bills Chiefs one especially. That maybe we can make some picks on that one later in it as well. And then Brian in the Purdy jersey this morning, playing a division rival. Probably feeling. My guess is feeling optimistic. How we doing, Johnson?
Yeah, I am feeling optimistic. We got Christian McCaffrey back. They did kind of rip on him a little bit, but it was his first game back, and I feel like you're going to see the more Christian McCaffrey we're used to today. So,
CMC, does he get in the end zone? Do you get a Greg Papa touchdown, San Francisco? Do you get that call today? And gentlemen, on that Greg Papa note, I did want to start with, I feel like kind of just interesting, kind of got me thinking this week with the news that, would you guys call him a Bay Area sports radio legend? I mean, when you're on the show for 28 years in the radio game, Tom Tolbert, I'm talking about, a lot of you might know him from NBC Sports back in the day as well, when he used to do the pregame stuff and some of the games for the NBA there. And I think he even did it for ESPN for a while as well. What do you guys, he gets let go. Again, after 28 years, used to have the popular show there with Ralph. He ended it with Adam Copeland et al. I know a lot of people. Before we kind of get into it, what do you think is the Bay Area radio? Is it dead or has it been dead? Tyler, how do you kind of evaluate those things before we kind of get into the personalities and all that? But what do you kind of make of just Bay Area radio? And I mean, end of an era, right? Letting him go.
Absolutely. I mean, is it dead to me? Absolutely. I mean, I think it's been kind of dead, Bay Area radio. I think radio in general is dying.
Yeah.
With all these podcasts and stuff. I mean, just think of what we had growing up. Like, I was a big listener of KNBR. Every time I got in my dad's car, there was not music being played. It was going to be KNBR or somebody channel that was, God, I hope that wasn't going to be on because it was the worst. But it was going to be KNBR. We had, like, Murph and Mac, and then we had Radnich, who's an absolute legend. Fitz and Brooks, one good, one bad, and then Tom Tolbert for 28 years. Like, that's what it was growing up as a kid. Like, it didn't change much. There was Barry and, like, a couple guys. It's not worth turning on anymore. I don't have any interest in listening to KNBR now.
Case, were you a fan of Mr. T?
Yeah, I like Tom. I mean, he'd go off the rails, but that's why I liked him, because he was just in the moment. It felt like you were just having a casual conversation with him all the time, or it felt like you were listening to one. And I enjoyed him. I mean, I know he's quirky, kind of a little different for some people, but kind of right up my alley. He's really knowledgeable about sports. I always used to love the interview that they do with Coach Steve Kerr, after a ball game or something like that the next day. And I don't know, obviously they had ties going to Arizona, a lot of stuff they could talk about. So, I mean, I think right now it's just like out with the old, in with the new. I mean, you can kind of see that with Murph and Mac when they had the Water Boy, filling in the morning. And then,
do you think that's what it is, or they just don't have the money to pay these guys now?
It's a combination, I think, where they want fresh voices and they feel like the demographic is kind of going towards the younger side. And I think a lot of those guys that you are talking about have been there had been there for 20 at least years. So it might have been just because, like Tyler was saying, that's what we grew up on. So, I mean, maybe this is a different. Some people are like, man, this guy's stupid. But
I feel like for radio, it's an old man thing, right? Like, you're driving home, like, I mean, doesn't Steve still listen to KNBR? Like, if you're driving home from Gelati,
if you're working like a I think if you're working like a straight job, like and you're going down for like 2.5 hours, there's only so much music you can kind of listen to and really you want to listen to. So it's like, all right, we're just gonna play this, and whoever's driving kind of jams to it, and the passenger you kind of just nod off and then come back, and it's a great. Tyler would say it's a great timeout. Just
great timeout. Brian, did you listen to Mr. T much? I mean, I know you had the radio in the back of the day did you listen to the sports radio driving around? That's kind of like what your job was a lot for a while there.
Yeah, for sure. Because he was in the afternoon.
Yeah,
I know. I would listen to Gary Radnich in the morning. I remember they had Tony Bruno on.
Oh yeah, that was like 30, that was like 30 minutes.
I would literally take my lunch to watch to listen to Radnich and Bruno on there because it was like the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, they did a good job. You could actually find some of them on YouTube still. I was actually listening to one the other day. Just kind of got me thinking about it. They're long, but they're pretty funny. Listening to those. So you guys were fans of him. The landscape is you guys. So the basic thing you guys are saying is they're basically trying to get in with the new, out with the old. But I would say in that same thing, they still have like Larry Krueger doing Niner shows there. They still have like John Dickinson, who's not like a young guy by any means, out there doing stuff. They have
Marty Lurie, for crying out loud.
They have Marty still there on weekend. I mean, I think they're just attached to the Giants at the hip. Like that's kind of like their money trade, right? Like if the Giant, as far as they go, the Giants go. That's how they get their listeners. And if they're good, then maybe these shows get more popular. That's how I look at these radio shows. And then when they lost the Warriors, I think that killed them as well. When somehow 95.7 the game got the Warriors over them. So if I think directly for KNBR, it does kill them. But that was the thing when you guys said the Bay Area radio is dead and you brought up all those shows. Tyler, I was an A's fan, so I very rarely I was kind of anti some of KNBR's guys because that's all they would do is make love to the Giants and the Niners and all that. So I always had to listen to like the Ticket 1050 or like those shows when like Rod Brooks was actually on.
JT the Prick.
See, Daren, that's where I enjoyed like
there was like a competition.
It's kind of sick pleasure, but I'd listen to KNBR after like they
the loss. Yes.
What's wrong with the Giants? Why the Niners? So he's like, oh yes,
especially Larry.
Come on over here, fellas. Like enjoy how it feels. Like the last couple of years of Giants baseball has been.
You're right. It was better to listen when they were. I always liked. But that's why I always liked Ralph though, because he would go at Brian Sabian, and those was always good. This was always good conversations because he was a real with it. But 95.7 is that bigger now than KNBR and Bay Area radio landscape? For me, I don't get it as clearly 95.7. Like I told Casey, as soon as I go past Healdsburg, it's like I can't even listen to it. I can't hear a thing unless I streamed it on my app. But I don't do that. So if I was listening to it on the dial, it doesn't go that far. So I don't even listen to Warriors games half the time on the radio because of that reason. So I don't know. Do you think they still have like Steinmetz? They have like all the Warriors guys that are with them, and we would all admit basketball is more popular than baseball. So going forward, and Tom Tolbert's still on 95.7 doing the games at times. So I don't know. Maybe there's a chance they take over the scene in the Bay Area. That is a possibility. I don't know.
No, I don't see that happening. I don't see any real talent at 95. So the Warriors guys aren't like people aren't tuning in to hear them talk like they were with Tom Tolbert, or Gary, but back in the day. Radio's just dying. It's gonna be just listening to live sports. Kind of how cable is. It's dying unless you have live events, and I think that's how radio is now. There's too much ways to get entertainment elsewhere.
So. As we kind of talk about that, let's kind of go to this topic. Bay Area personality. If we had to do like a draft, right, kind of like the ones that we know, and you had to fit 4 segments, right, John? So we had morning, midday, afternoon, and night. Like you had to pick some of the personalities. And this isn't. You can't do like Tim Kawakami or something like that because he's more of a writer, even though he is a personality. But you know what I mean? Like somebody that's kind of hosted a radio show over the time or been a part of a radio show. Is there, if you guys had Tyler, if you had first pick and you had to fill one of those spots, what show for you are you putting that you like? I got to get this one on right here.
Am I building a business or just my personal enjoyment?
That's just you. I mean, for you, it's
My personal enjoyment.
you're listening to the game. You're listening to, right? Like you've known when there's not. You're not
I'm
listening.
taking Gary Radnich from 9 to noon every morning. Just the way he talked about sports, he understood that he wasn't the end all be all of what was going on. He didn't really know anything except for he loved sports and he would talk about what was happening. He didn't have inside information and he didn't pretend to. And that's what I enjoy about like sports talk radio. Like it's just what you think, what happened, you react to things. And I like that type of commentary on sports.
Yeah, I was telling you this. I found it frustrating with him at times because when I was younger, John said I wanted my hardcore sports. I wanted you to talk about the bunt down the first base line and not fielding it properly. Like I wanted that type of like boring
man,
stuff.
You would get sarcastic with Giants fans that would call, man. It's like we're all gonna be really angry today.
He's the best. He was being on the joke. He got it.
Yeah, let's get pissed. Let's get pissed, he would say, or something like that. Like let's do that. This one Tyler sent me that I thought was kind of funny that he had at one point.
And Larry and Gary all agreed that the Bogut deal was because
you guys are sucking Bogut, and I'm just throwing out a little perspective that a guy who's been hurt will be hurt.
And the problem, Gary, is you're just getting pulled down with Larry.
Okay, so you think
guilty by association?
No. Yes. So when Murph and Mac are feeding shrimp to St. Jean, you think we'll be kicked out of the room too?
Does this mean we're going to lose Lacob every month now?
What?
Larry ripping the contract.
No, he wants to be here. Well, I think Lacob will come on. He's not going to come in.
I think you will too.
Okay. Well, we'll see. If he doesn't come, I'm blaming you.
Yeah, blame me.
I'm blaming
I'll take
you.
That. I'm the one objective guy in the building. My God, everybody else is getting a check.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
How dare we have opinions that are different than your own, that are our own opinions?
I'm just saying, everybody's just sucking up to the Warriors on this. I mean,
no, I'm voicing my opinion, Larry, and just because it's different than yours doesn't mean it's wrong.
If Hunter Pence had
Both of you shut up! I don't want to lose them as friends, all right? Both of you shut the hell up! Both of you shut up! I don't want to lose Tim Roy! I'm not going to lose Fitz.
You already lost.
I'm not going to lose St. Jean.
Saint doesn't love you.
Both of you shut up. I'm sick of what you've done to me. I'm not going to sit in the third row when I used to sit courtside because of this crap. Take a break and both of you shut up. On KNBR 680, you'll hear all Warrior games with Tim Roy and Tom.
That was always fun. And I loved how he'd always finish it with that. It was a little long, but I thought it was kind of as we don't talk about this stuff much. So I thought you're right with Gary with that. He understood the moment. We're not feeding shrimp to him like Murph and that. That was always a thing between the shows too. Is who and Gary said he'd be more. He was a little bit more like that. So that's a good one with the draft there at Gary the morning. Casey, what's the personality you're taking next?
There's so many over the years, but I would go with Tom. I think it's my favorite. We were doing a draft because it, to me, is probably the most memorable KNBR experience I think me, you, and our Uncle Steve had was coming home from the funeral from one of our sad things, but enlightenment of how it can change and make you feel. I had this caller who was hammered.
Hammered.
This old man. He had that old raspy smoker's cough, and you could tell he's down in some whiskeys. And
it was like 6:30.
Him and Tom were just chopping it up. And he goes, "Sounds like you're a little hairy." Whoa. He like starts to. Tom's like, "What time is it over here?" He's like,
Tom's great.
It was just probably easily. I wish I could find that soundbite, but Daren was there. He knows.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was one of a kind.
Well, they had the one with Beaver Man that called it, and Ralph asked why it was called Beaver Man. Kyle Shanahan called him the Joe Rogan of sports podcasting. That's a compliment from that regard. I don't think Kyle. He said basically it's more like an interview with him, so that's a good call. For me, I always liked him when he was with somebody. More than by himself. And so like when he was with John Lund, I like Papa better with him. But like I do like kind of his ability to keep it sports, but then he kind of is able to kind of go off a little bit too. Not to those extremes, those two guys. So because you guys took like kind of the funny guys off the list in that regard, I would probably go with with him next. That's all right. I don't know. That's just who I'd roll with. Who do you got?
You have
Brian?
Papa?
Yeah, Papa.
Before we move on from Papa,
I gotta go Rod.
Brian,
Brooks.
hold on, Brian. Before we move on from Papa, if you have not heard this song, it's a cider company, like apple cider company that's going out of business. It's called Dixon, like the town of Dixon cider. Yeah. It's very inappropriate if you put it together and you say it real fast. So don't do that if you're under 12. But it's the best song you'll ever hear. And they played it on radio because it was called that, and like they got away with it. And it's a hilarious song. Look it up on YouTube.
All right, I'll check it out.
Like you ruined my conversation for that BS.
What conversation did I ruin?
Brian, what do you got?
I got definitely Rod Brooks. I enjoyed
That's a
him
good
a
call.
lot.
Brooks and Fitz, or just Brooks? Because you got
I just enjoyed Brooks more because Fitz would just you could book him and the Warriors a hotel room sometimes.
Well, they did book him. They've booked him many. Yeah, they went. Oh, what do you mean? Donald appeared. It's not bad. Murphy's gonna come.
An all-star center if you put their numbers together.
Mike Dunleavy nobody makes a hockey assist better. Yeah, that was the only problem with that. But like I said, I like Brooks because he used to do the Raiders sidelines too, like during the games when Papa would do it. Brooks used to do the sideline. Because remember, folks, the Raiders you used to not be able to watch on TV. Believe that or not, on local TV they were not available. You could not watch home games. So radio was the only way to listen to the game. Incredible.
And Dad would always be like, "Why do they call it the black hole? They should just call it the blackout."
So those are the top four we have. Tyler, if you had to like throw out a couple of more names, so if we had morning, midday, afternoon, night, those were the personalities we kind of fit in there. What's one that Tyler you got to like? Does Rado make the list for you? He was.
I mean, Rado's great, but I thought he was more on the Tim Kawakami wavelength where I wasn't.
Well, he was with him and Tom had that afternoon show for about 4 years.
No, they did. They were great, and so he did it with Bruce for a little bit, I believe, as well.
How about Murph and Mac? They probably had the other long one that
two homers. I don't like homers. I like people who joke around and like can.
I kind of didn't mind Murph and Mac. I've come to like Murph a little bit.
Mac was good. He was like kind of like this hippie, fun, loving sports channel. Murph and Mac, not for me. I'd probably go John Lund, the pair of him and Papa just together.
I already stole Papa. So you can't.
So take John Lund.
Take John Lund. He got let go as well.
Yeah,
so it wasn't just Tolbert as well. So he won't be there as well. I know who I liked in the when they actually did the show with Radnich and Bruno. He always had great little chime-ins. Was Dibley? I always felt
Dan Dibley.
I always felt like he was right. I always felt like he was right on the money with like some of the things, like just kind of like fitting in the comments and like kind of he was from the Bay Area, so he got it. And like he listened to him, so I always like that little parody as well. I think you guys are forgetting somebody. In every list I looked up, these two guys came up, and every like Bay Area list is like solid anchors that everybody liked Bay Area personality wise. I always liked him when he came on shows, especially when he was writing for the Warriors back in their terrible days, because he was actually honest about them. I actually do like Matt Steinmetz as one of them. And then the other one that you guys kind of forgot about that got a ton of love on ratings was David Bruce for a while. So he was they both like some of the best Bay Area shows. In the article I read, Tom was getting ripped on by somebody saying that because of one of the Asian comments he made, and then about
see, this is what I like that. You're gonna make comments that are gonna hurt people's feelings.
David Bruce has made more than a few as well. Remember, he got let go.
What about Larry Krueger, the Caribbean brain dead?
Well, I think Bruce is in the pictures. And so, anyways, David Bruce, that's a controversial, but he was the guy opposite of KNBR in the afternoon for a long time. So a lot of people like that show as well. So
he was on KNBR for years also.
He's always on Larry Krueger's podcast, Damon Bruce.
I mean, I kind of like him now more that he's off of it a little bit with it. But and then the other one that was a popular staple was Rick Barry for a while. He was there.
You knew he would be clean coming into the studio with a shower running.
And then Skip. Do you guys remember the segment with him and Skip though? Like that was a popular segment on KNBR was when Skip Bayless would come on with Rick Barry.
I don't know. I think he was just too direct. The guy just came off like kind of a jerk sometimes. That's why I didn't like him.
That's
him and Ralph had some epic handoffs to get like those personalities. I remember there was a few blow ups over the time with that stuff. All right, so that was fun looking at some of the Because like you said, we did listen to a lot when that happened.
I remember he used to rip Shaq. He used to say, just do the free throw like I used to do them. You make them. But Shaq's not going to do that.
So, yeah, or he wanted him to do it underhand, but he's like, I'm not going to look like a fool. Well, Shaq, it is what it is. All right, that's the Bay Area stuff with it. Brian, what's your NBA fact of the week this week for me?
Coach Rivers was ripping on the officiating, even though they took a 20-point loss to the Charlotte Hornets. I think you need to worry more about your coaching and less on the officiating right now.
Brian, you've been a little harsh on Glenn Rivers in the Bucks these last couple of weeks here. I feel like I feel like that's 2 straight NBA facts of the weeks, maybe with involving Glenn and in the Bucks.
Got blown out by the Charlotte Hornets. It's not what
they lost to the Hornets by 1.
I like your thought. They were getting blown out by the Pistons, and then they came back in that one.
Yeah,
and then they came back and won out.
They only lost by 1 last night.
But Glenn Rivers,
Glenn is a terrible head coach.
The headline said a blowout loss, so that's all I saw.
Yeah.
Maybe he pooped his pants.
Brian,
no, Doc Rivers blew up.
Check your sources. Check the source. No, we got to do that. Check the source. Klay returned, Brian. Did you hear about that? Did you watch the game or did you fall asleep?
I saw on the TNT pregame, they're all wearing his hats on there.
I have no idea. I was telling this guy at work. You guys correct me. I'm like, why is he Captain Klay? Like all of a sudden, I'm just like, is this like a new name that we're just giving him? Like I don't remember that ever being a thing where it was like Captain Klay. Like I just don't remember it being like. I kind of remember it being talked about, but like towards the end of his run there, I didn't actually know it was a thing. We're all saluting captain hats to him. I didn't realize, like, I don't know, the headband I think of more than the captain hat. I just didn't. I don't get it.
Jackie Moon Klay.
That's because you can play basketball with a headband. You can't play with the captain's hat.
I just don't get the captain reference. I never understood the nickname. I guess I just came on late on his career. And
do you remember? You've been for his whole career. What do you mean came late?
He was there since he was 12 or like
since he was like on the boat on the Instagram live. He'd always go live and he'd be wearing a captain's hat.
Gotcha. See, I was
that's where it came from.
I was not aware that I never over TV. I never heard the announcer go, Captain Klay. What I never heard anything like that. So maybe that's why for me it never registered as actually a thing. He returned though. More than his return, Big Brother stole the show. The Big Splash Brother. He stole the show in the fourth quarter, getting 12 points, 4-4. I was thinking I was thinking for his size, he's just the ability for him, and he's not like the fastest dribbler. Like, he's obviously got quick hands, but he doesn't come across as shifty as like your old school kind of guys like that. He just knows how to separate enough, and his English off the glass is at another level. I'll say this for the game itself. Whenever Irving doesn't have the ball at the end of the game, I'm happy about it. Irving scares me more. I'm dead serious at times. His finishing is just I don't know. I've seen him kill the Warriors too many times. He actually scares me more on the Mavericks. I would not want him to have it almost just as much as Luka at the end of the game. Did you guys feel that for that in particular a little at least?
100%.
I was like, thank God.
100%. Kyrie makes shots that you're like, how the heck did he even get that shot up? And then it's going in. Like Luka, you kind of understand it. Obviously, he's big and he's strong and he's going to get to where he wants to go. But you see it and you're like, kind of like, okay, he's just going to be good. Kyrie just makes shots. You're like,
well, he shot that left-handed.
What the hell? How do you do better against it?
You don't. That's what I'm learning over there. So, anyways, that was a good return case. And Curry just spick. I mean,
special.
Enjoy it while you got it, people. He's one of the best. Enjoy it while you got it. He's one of the best out there. He was amazing. Draymond got a flagrant game against the Grizzlies. Always gets and they upgraded it to a flagrant.
And he told was it the opposing coach to shut up or something?
Shut your mouth. Well, that's pretty gentle for him if that's all he said.
He said, "Please be quiet, sir."
Maybe we missed an F-bomb in there.
No, I'm sure he kept it PG.
There's kids in the crowd.
His kids at the game. I mean, what's with the tripping again, Draymond? I don't. He just. Hopefully, and then Kerr got pissed at the rest. Buddy got a little frustrated.
Steve Kerr got real mad.
What was that? Were you guys any concerns about Draymond this week, or is that a lot to do about nothing?
I don't think it's really much right now. I mean, I know it's early and it's a reputation thing. I saw it. I agree. It's probably a flagrant. I mean, you shouldn't. It's kind of a bush play where you just kind of like you're on the ground and he kind of just squeezed his leg. And Edie's a huge dude, so I mean, obviously the bigger layer.
Like that, you're right. He is a big dude.
And I don't know. I just don't take it too much so far. Draymond's been, I'd say, mild-mannered for his standards this year. He's been locked in. It's probably some of the best defense I've seen him play in a long time, at least this early stage in an NBA season. And they get off to the start. I believe they're 10-2 now, guys. I believe something like that. I could be wrong, but
maybe
10-2. Yeah, the Warriors 10-2. Yeah, the Thunder are 11-2.
I think if he walks that line and he hasn't gone overboard, I love the way he's playing right now, to be honest.
Hold up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you still sticking with Draymond or are you moving on? Draymond, am I concerned about Draymond? Absolutely not. This is the most enthused I've been about Draymond since before when Kevin Durant left. This is the best Draymond. He's an offensive player. Like 2 years ago, you could leave him open for 3 points, just like sink a guy all the way to the free throw line. Yeah. He's at like a year of hitting 40% of his three, or close to, not 40, but close to, where you have to respect it. This is the best Draymond we've seen in a while. He's an easy all-star. And as far as he grabbed his foot, yeah, it's Bushly, but people are like, oh, he could have hurt him. Zach Edey could have got hurt running up and down the court. Like, yeah, it was Bush League, and he deserves a technical, but let's not act like he threw a punch.
We've seen worse.
We've seen worse.
Like, if you look at Hakeem Olajuwon's career, the first 5 years of his career, he threw a literal punch at people. And people, if you asked, oh, what do you think of Hakeem personally? Like, what do you think? What type of person do you think he is? People are like, oh, he's a nice guy, probably. Like, that's what I think of. This guy's throwing punches his first.
Draymond does run that mouth quite a little bit more than Hakeem did.
I don't know if he did.
I bet he did. I bet he did.
He hasn't thrown 5 punches.
No, you're right. He has not thrown 5. He threw one at a teammate. No.
For MMA, he likes to choke.
He likes to choke.
I think it's all over.
I hear you. What did you think of Draymond's comments this week? I saw on the new podcast, the Warner House. Fred Warner holding his own podcast with his wife. They had Draymond on this week, and he said LeBron. Not surprised he had LeBron in his mouth, but he did say LeBron is the reason he's possibly still with the Warriors instead of not signing with those Memphis Grizzlies in 2023. So thank God again for LeBron. He saved the Warriors. All-star Draymond. On the Warner House. Come on, you got a Brian. You got to do a Niners podcast.
I bet Brian. What is Fred Warner's wife's name?
I don't know. I would have no idea.
Wow, I'm proud of Brian. I'm actually proud of you for not knowing. I don't know, but
just say Jasmine for that reason.
I mean, where's your confidence level with this team, Daren? I would think it would be high, right? Because they did good in the Celtics game. That's what you said after the Celtics game.
I feel like 12 games in, so got a hell of a lot more to go. But I do feel good about the start there. I am a little worried about some of the injuries kind of coming up. Melton's injury does have me a little concerned with just depth reasons. But I think they're going to be. I still worry about the bigs. That's still going to be always my question with them is when they play legit bigs. What's going to be the issue? Dallas to me is good, but right now they're not legit. They're not going to score on you the way these other guys, like the best guys are. So I still have high there. It's growing. I'm probably about a 6 out of 10 that they get higher than a 10 seed now. So I'm moving up 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. That's where
what big scare you? How many real big scare you in the NBA? Jokic, Embiid. After that, it's like hit or miss.
Anthony Davis, LeBron.
LeBron
scares me. That's what he can just control the Warriors at every. Well, he's pretty big now.
Everybody's pretty big in the NBA.
Anthony Davis is definitely one of the highest concerns on my list.
I guess we could say Mr. Pessimistic with the Warriors.
I just got a little ways to go. I don't see him. We'll see. They just got to keep proving me wrong a little bit. Draymond's the key. I said it like if him and Wiggins can play basketball again this year. They look like they're playing basketball this year again. They haven't got it. Draymond got a little trip thing, but like Tyler said, a lot to do about nothing. So the confidence is growing. Steve Kerr defended him, got pissed, threw a pen, it looked like, at the official. I don't know. Or he wanted to if he had something in his hand.
I was thinking about this. I heard this quote the other day, and I thought of my brother automatically. It's from, I think, Mark Twain is the one, but it's I'd rather be optimistic and right sometimes than pessimistic and wrong all the time.
There you go. That's Brian right there.
Brian, you're on the other side. Dude.
Brian's on the other one. I'm definitely on the other side with it. And I'm like, never get ahead of yourself. I've seen you lose too many times.
Yeah, I remember with the A's, Ted Lilly got ripped a new one by the Braves, and he thought the season was over after that game.
Yeah.
Brian, the Little League game that changed my life. I was up 14 going into the last inning. We gave up 15 runs. I will never take it for granted winning a game again. I was like, did we literally just get 15 runs in the sixth inning? Did we literally just lose a game? Yes, I was the manager of a team that game. I could not believe it. I was like, I could throw out anybody. My mother would have not been able to get out. Casey, nobody could get it out.
If I was in that crowd, I'd been like, go back to Cincinnati.
I was the Cardinals.
And see, that worked out in the movie. They ended up winning the division. So
Angels in the outfield, one of the class.
Ryan, how confident? Speaking of Marcus Twain and that optimism, how about Niners win by 40 today? How are you feeling?
No, not by 40, but it's gonna be a close game. But yeah, I feel a 3-game winning streak coming on right now. I think we're going to beat Seattle. We'll beat Green Bay. I think we beat Buffalo, and we'll
Whoa! Whoa!
Circling the wagons.
Circling those wagons. Ryan, all of a sudden, feeling more than...
It might get Tyler excited, but I'll put my balls on the table.
Nobody wants to see that, but we got... Oh, you meant the...
That's a quote of it.
You meant the football. All right. The football, the side footballs. All right, I got what you're saying.
Forget poker chips. I'm going with balls.
Hey,
game over. Game
Brian,
over.
I just like what Debo did. He wanted to give a jolt of energy into this team. I think it's going to work out in our favor. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like we finally have a guy who could be an asshole on our team, and I think that's Debo.
Brian, what's some other sideline one do you remember? Has the Niners ever had any other? They probably had some other ones, right?
Yeah, I mean, when Singletary send Vernon Davis off the field, he said, "I want winners."
Go get your helmet.
There's got to be other ones, smaller ones too.
There's T.O. on the sideline.
Oh yeah,
Greg Knapp.
I forgot about Greg Knapp. Poor Greg had the worst job in America for that season, having to work with T.O. was off the chain that year.
If it smells like a rat, it looks like a rat.
It must be a rat. What do you think, T? Brian says they're winning the game, going to be close. They're going to go on a 3-game win streak. They're going to go into Green Bay and win. They're going to go into Buffalo and win. I said
I'll put my balls on the table. No poker.
We don't need to repeat it. He could have gone back and
listened. Brian, I heard everything. I started talking trash as soon as I left.
He could have gone back and listened, Johnson.
I heard it already. You told me that. Yeah.
I respect it. Say to his face like a man,
Brad. I'm just tired of this lack of confidence. CMC came back.
You want the Warriors' confidence.
Warriors' confidence. Big George Kittle is missing today. That's going to hurt us. Or it's not looking good that he plays. I think they'll win today. I think they're better than the Seahawks. They own the Seahawks and Teresa Wilson left. Packers, I believe they'll beat. I think they're a better team than that. The Bills, Josh Allen gives us fits. That game scares the crap out of or poop out of me.
I remember your email growing up, billsforbull@yahoo.com.
Oh, a little rival.
Because I was a good bowler and I wanted to go shoot billiards.
Brian, he's still using that email for personal reasons. We don't want to send that out to the
fans. Oh my God, Brian!
I just think Josh Allen doesn't have the receivers he used to have. I feel like that could be a winnable game for us, in my opinion. And then the Bills defense just doesn't scare me this year.
I mean, the Bills, they're still winning games. I don't know. And it's going to be cold. It's a winnable game because we're the 49ers. We're a good team.
How about
I just don't think
you got good and bad moodies. Sometimes you're in a good and bad moody. Do you feel? I'm telling you, those kickers, they can make you stress a little bit. They can make it. All right, you guys don't care about the kicker still. I guess that's
Man,
I care about the punt coverage and the kick coverage. The kicker will be fine.
He missed 3.
Yeah, but he was great before that. Before he got hurt, I don't.
Well, maybe the injury
first game back, he got hurt.
All right. He almost cost you a game. He almost cost you.
Almost. Only counts in hand grenades and
Debo put the fear of God.
Ryan, look, he got some confidence right there. He's talking back. He said that he likes Mr. Moody. He's confident.
Well, I don't worry about kickers. I think kickers are good for the most part. Especially the guy who makes most of them.
But he does worry about punt coverage. What an asset.
What really encourages me is he said that he was talking about Debo on he was talking about Purdy on a podcast. He said Purdy just wants to keep getting better. He said he was frustrated after the game. He felt like he could do a lot better. And to me, I love a quarterback that has that mindset. He's just, I feel like we haven't seen the best of Purdy this year, in my opinion.
I think JT O'Sullivan felt the same way. He wanted to always get better.
JT O'Sullivan.
You're comparing JT O'Sullivan to
I'm comparing their mindset, the silliness of them wanting to get better. Of course he wants to get better.
Just like Will Ferrell to that, when he was a coach, to go take a lap right now.
You're saying his mindset, he wants to get better. He's an NFL player, he better want to get better.
I don't think Jamarcus did.
Well, don't bring up JT O'Sullivan. Come on, go take a lap, buddy.
Jamarcus did not want to get. I don't even know if Aiden wants to get better at this point.
I'm excited to get on the football field and.
If I was Minshew, I would shave my head or something. If I'm the Raiders with it, that's what I'm doing. So the Raiders, they take on the Dolphins this morning. Nobody cares. Shout out to Gary on that one. Nobody cares. I don't think Casey I can do it. I think I'll be definitely going to be not tuning into this one. Maybe we'll check a little score late. If it's close, we'll tune it in. But this is going to be a blowout.
Are they at the same time as the Niners, though?
No, it's a 10 a.m. start.
Yeah, damn. So I do have to watch it, baby. Usually it's been on YouTube TV or whatever, so you have to watch the Niners and go back and forth. But
no,
I don't know. It's not going to be pretty for the Raiders, I don't think. Ritter, I assume, is going to be the quarterback going forward now.
Yes.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out. But I don't.
That's your boy.
I don't know how much worse it can get. But
go back to Cincinnati. Now you can. Casey, he's actually from.
What's that?
I was going to say he's actually from Cincinnati, Mr. Ritter. So we can actually use that line now and actually beat it if he does suck. So feel free to use that one. Feel free to use that one a little bit more. What were you saying?
I think the only thing the Dolphins are worried about is like double and triple team Max Crosby. Everyone else, just do not let Tua get rocked by Max. That is like their big job, I think. Tyreek Hill's banged up. He thought about, had the option for surgery end of the year. Waddle isn't having the type of year that he's wanted. Dolphins have been decimated by injuries. They got a couple guys back last week.
A lot of people say they're going to make a playoff run, though, because of how easy their schedule is.
I mean, I listen to a lot of Miami, just obviously the Lebertard show based out of Miami, so I've been listening a fair amount of that. But, I mean, 3-6, man, that's a lot of wins you're chasing right now.
They basically have to go undefeated, it seems like.
Well, the AFC.
But I have to congratulate. Thank you for beating the Rams on Thursday.
Yes, they did beat the Rams for you there Thursday. It'll be. I don't know, Case. I'm with you. I think it's kind of sad at this point. Like I said, they haven't made the playoffs in at least 5 years now. They haven't won a playoff game since 2003, I think it was. So I don't know. Been a long time, T.
It's been a long time. You want to talk about a long time? Let's talk about things that might have existed the last time the Raiders won a playoff game. Long time here. Did a wireless keyboard exist the last time the Raiders won a playoff game?
I'm going to say no.
Any other guesses?
I'll say yeah. I think it was.
Right.
What do you got?
I would say no.
It did exist.
Wow, all right.
Keyboard did exist back in 2001, 2002.
All right, 2003. That's for the last
2003. What about Wikipedia? Did Wikipedia exist in 2003?
I'm going to say yes.
No.
It did not. It did not exist. The Wikipedia did not exist.
I think I have a better memory from doing homework.
Holy crap.
I couldn't Wikipedia.
Uh,
What about
Wiki-
last one?
You could ask Jeeves.
Yeah, yes, jeez, yeah.
Did the
I'll
Walking Dead and The Walking Dead started in 2003?
No.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way.
Brian, The Walking Dead or the Raider playoff win?
No, I would say no.
The Walking Dead did not exist.
Okay,
So those are things that did not exist. The Walking Dead.
Did they even have Wi-Fi in 2003?
No, I don't think
yeah.
Wi-Fi was. Well, not how I remember Wi-Fi with cell phones. There wasn't like the same deal with.
Well, that's because you had the flip phone. Like
I don't even know. I had a flip phone then. It was like
other things that did not exist real quickly: Netflix, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Windows 7, Uber, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, the MCU, Borat, and Spider-Man 2.
George Bush was the president, right? George
Bush was the president.
Yeah, a long time ago. That's the last time we've been part of a playoff win there. Ask Jeeves. I remember I tried that one time where it's like a search engine where I said, how do I? It was like a long. It was like it was probably like a paragraph worth of like, how do I translate something to Spanish? It was like, and I remember like I was like, how do I say in Spanish? And it would like just give you this slow like answer. And I was like,
it was great for Spanish.
I don't even know if that's right, but I would try that. I remember back in the day, I was like, that's
I was like the hardest part of doing reports is trying to do the damn bibliography, trying to find all these.
We got to know your sources, man.
Gotta be able to cite them with the correct like spaces between everything.
Gotta be able to do that right.
Remember that big paper we had to do, Daren?
Oh yeah,
in that history.
I did do one on Abraham Lincoln. I was like, how do you expect me to read a 700-page book and then do a report on it? I'm going to be dead by the time I read this thing.
There's Oakland A's baseball on. What am I supposed to do here?
Want me to read about Abe for 5 hours?
That's when you like get done and you shove in the floppy disk and then take it out and go to school and upload it. I don't even know if they make floppy disk anymore.
Hey, real quick, guys, before I move to movies, who do you got? Do the Chiefs stay undefeated or do the Bills win today? That's the biggest game. Chiefs stay undefeated, Case? Yes or no?
Yeah, I don't know what.
In Buffalo. It's in Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo's, they're 3-0, I believe, against them in the regular season, but 0-3 in the playoffs, or 3-4, something like that. But they dominated the Chiefs moves in the regular season. So I will go with the Bills, actually. I'll rock with the Bills.
All right,
we'll Buffalo too, right?
Bills for bowl.
In Buffalo. Bills? Yeah, I'm with Casey. Bills for bowl. They're going to the Super Bowl and losing again. I got the Bills winning against the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I don't think are like that. They're good. They have they win, but I don't think they're that great. I don't think their record is what they are.
What was the year they beat the Rams?
Most important players on IR. Butker, I believe, is on the IR now.
What did you say? What was the word? Casey, you're riding with Bills for bull. Tyler,
I'm riding for Bills.
Brian, are you staying with the big red machine, or what do you got?
No, I'm definitely going to Bills. I think undefeated streak comes to an end today.
Oh, come on. Taylor's going to stay happy today. The Chiefs are going to win. You guys are 10-0. They got to go. They're going to.
The best moment from the big red machine was when he was in the Royal Rumble and the honky tonk man comes out and he says, "Hey, just give me a second, big fella." I think that was his mistake because he takes his guitar and slams it over his head and just throws the honky tonk man out. It was like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I like the promo with him and Hogan where he said the Canaanites. I always like the Canaanites.
What about when he piled or tombstone Pete Rose at WrestleMania 14?
I forgot. I didn't know.
Pete
Rose was coming out insulting Boston because it was in Boston.
That's great. I don't remember that.
Dead man loves Boston.
I saw something about him, like where he buried Undertaker, and then he came back and play or something like that. That's
lightning struck the casket at SummerSlam.
Thousands and thousands of Canaanites.
And then one time he was wrestling with D-Generation X, and everybody wanted Kane to say it, and they gave him the microphone. He goes, "So good."
Oh, the Canaanites. That's a good one with it. All right, let's keep it moving here with it. We got NFL this week. They got Like we say, we got the Bay Area games here. Niners Seahawks. Will Brian be in a good Jake Moody today after the game? We'll find out if he's going to be.
I feel like he's going to hit all of his kicks today.
Well, I can't wait to see the stress you guys have if he misses one with it.
I believe in Jake.
All right, let's get to it's been a fan favorite now these last couple of weeks. Movies with Daren. Gets the popcorn ready. We're gonna we'll get some comparisons here again. I got another list for you guys. My wife actually enjoyed the segment last week. She actually enjoyed the segment. I said, well, how about the sports part? She said, I turned it off at that point. So she did not enjoy the rest of it, but she did enjoy the movie part. So I got some other ones for you guys this week. All right, here we go. Equalizer or John Wick? Are we going with a little similar, but same idea? But a little one again feels a little sciencey with Mr. Jonathan at times, but we got with Equalizer or John Wick. And I think is there 4 now John Wicks or 3?
Are we factoring in sequels?
No, I'm just saying I just usually go on number 1. That's the one I usually go on. So I'm just talking the first
John Wick.
What do you got, Casey?
Denzel is 800 times better than Keanu at acting. The John Wick.
Keanu has roles where he's really good.
No, yeah, we talked about The Matrix last week. I'm going John Wick. I know it's tough, but I'll just go with.
Wait, John Wick or Equalizer?
John Wick. What you got? He's going with John Wick. Which one you got, Chase?
I got Equalizer.
That's where I'm at too.
John Wick is badass. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Keanu Reeves. I do like his work that he's done. He's done a lot of
shout out Speed.
I just feel like Equalizer, it's a little bit
hardball.
Tyler in our science fiction, but I feel like it's a little bit more realism to it. John Wick.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really fast paced, which I love. But I mean, there's the part which is one of my favorites is with the dog in John Wick, the beginning part, and so I mean, but overall, I'll go with Equalizer.
Brian, have you seen both?
I gotta go John Wick for sure.
Well, I'm on the wrong side of history if Brian's agreed with him.
Hey, what's the John Wick one though? Where
all I know is that Equalizer show's terrible.
I didn't watch the show. We're not talking about the show. We are not talking about the darn show.
Denzel Washington.
This is Denzel. This is not some white guy that's playing this way. This is Denzel played it.
That plays the Equalizer.
Number 2's good too.
I don't know what you were thinking.
Hey, you can be whatever you want today. Whatever you want. White woman, black woman, white man.
This is America, damn it. What was the comedian I saw the other day? Or no, on SNL they made a good thing about anti-racism against white people. The guy, it was like the white guy on the the little desk show they do between the one there, and he's like, "Thank God, my people have had enough injustice over the last couple of years." It's like hilarious. All right, so yeah, that one, Equalizer. I like the John Wick one where it's like I feel like if they beat him up. Those guys like they beat him up, and then the dad's like, "You beat up the wrong guy." Basically, he's got to like save his son's life. That's the John Wick. I think that's number 3. So I like that one the best out of all of them. All right, so next one I have a little comedy here. Just Go With It. That's the one with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler, or Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Both a little off the skip. Which one? A little different genres in comedy there with it though. But you got to go Other Guys with Wahlberg and Ferrell. Or are you going, Just Go With It? Brian, where do you go with this one?
I got to definitely go Other Guys. That's one of my favorite comedies of all time.
I like the other police officers that give him a bad time at the beginning.
Yeah, have you ever done your desk paw?
That's a good one. What do you got, Case?
Other Guys for sure. It's probably some of the funniest lines I've heard. Just like, man, that's the guy that shot Jeter.
or I'm a peacock. I want to fly, and that captain's like, let's get some straight. Peacocks don't fly.
I love that. Bob, what do you do around here? Well, I make a mad cup of decaf.
Doesn't his boss end up working at is it at Michael Keaton?
He works at Lowe's.
It's not Bad Bath and Beyond. I thought it was Bad Bath.
I thought it was Lowe's.
I think it was Bed Bath and Beyond he works at. And then who's the decent looking wife of Will's and that
decent Ava Mendes.
Yeah, he's like
decent.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I say that sarcastically. But Mark Wahlberg's face during that whole thing is hilarious as well. Like, get yourself in the kitchen or whatever. He's like talking. He's like talking. They're all disrespectful. He's
the
like,
Prius. He's like, man. He's like the homeless guys had an orgy in your Prius. Dirty Mike and the boys.
Yeah, that Dirty Mike and the boys. I forgot. I actually see. I go towards just go with it though. There's something about that movie. Well, there's a couple scenes obviously that are pretty good too, but
Brooklyn Decker's bikini.
She doesn't make it bad, but there's also parts where even when they're like swimming in the pool, there's like, how did your dad get you to swim? He would just throw us in, and then the other guy's like in the background, he's like, oh, he'd throw full cans of beers at us too. Like, and then like the one lady, like she comes in at the beginning and like her eyebrows like way up there, and then they can't tell. Like, did you say something? Or what are you thinking? And she's like, I'm not thinking anything. It's because her eyebrows are already fully invested. And then so I don't know. The kids are little, and like a movie like that. But I thought those kid actors actually did pretty good at that one for the most part. There is some scenes where the little boy kind of annoys me a little bit, but the dolphin thing was kind of funny too. That kind of leading up to it. I've never swam with it. I want to swim with the dolphin. So I always kind of like that too. So I'm gonna roll with just go with it. I feel like that's.
And I'm with Daren. I'm going to just go with it. I think the girls put it over the top, but like Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston it's hilarious. They're funny. Then Brooklyn Dagger. Then you have Schwartzen playing the weird guy and Eddie, like, he has to do the accent and pretend.
Saves the goat. Was he saving a sheep or something?
Like that. He's like making up some story about being a doctor for animals. Yeah, I know we'll just go with it.
He's like out there giving like mouth to mouth to his sheep in the village. He like takes Brooklyn out there so they can go. Oh, and then Devlin. Take a Devlin. That was always a good one too. All right. Private Ryan or Hacksaw Ridge. We'll go deep on Veterans Day here week. We got the war movies here. I looked up. These ones are pretty close together. You get public opinion, but you guys might feel a different way about either one. Hacksaw Ridge is the one where the guy he chooses not to use a weapon. And then
Andrew Garfield, the Spider-Man.
And then Private Ryan there. Everybody knows that one with Thomas Hanks. Johnson, which one do you go there?
I definitely got to go Private Ryan.
Tyler, same.
Yeah, that first scene on Normandy is just unbelievable. Even that, I mean, it's a great movie in general. Matt Damon, Tom Sizemore, Tom Hanks. Saving Private Ryan, easy. Spielberg.
Case?
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan. I've watched Hacksaw Ridge. I do enjoy the movie. Obviously, it's a great movie, but Saving Private Ryan, Tom Hanks, just the Italian guy who's been in so many movies. I can't remember. There's a lot of great actors in that movie. And Saving Private Ryan is just I haven't seen it in a long time, but from what I do recall, it was a great movie. I'm the same way. Hacksaw Ridge is good though. That is but I think Saving Private Ryan. And like I said, they both kind of won a lot of awards for it, not as many as Private Ryan did, but they both won their fair share. All right,
is Barry Pepper the guy from the Dale Earnhardt? Barry, or is that a different Pepper? He's in Saving Private Ryan. Something Pepper.
Julius Pepper.
Pepper. Never mind. Forget I said it.
I haven't. All right.
Pepper Ann?
Pepper Ann is not. Hannah wanted me to ask you guys this one. This was her only requested one. So Hoosiers or Glory Road is her. That's always her two favorite. She also likes what's the one? Six Man, but she said she'll stay with those. That's like one of her favorite basketball movies. Hoosiers or Glory Road? Which one do you go with, Casey?
Glory Road for sure. Hoosiers is a little too white. And
how dare you?
It's very.
Oh my god!
There's a couple.
Glory Road's a little too black.
Indiana,
it's a little too black.
All I remember is Jimmy and a.
Can you imagine? It's insane.
Jimmy and a picket fence and an alcoholic.
He's a good alcoholic. He did a good job on that. He came back. Remember, he coached him to victory.
Gene Hackman, great.
Running the picket fence. Don't leave the paint dry.
I got Hoosiers. The picket fence that set up a lot of Klay and Steph 3-pointers later, 30 years later. I got Hoosiers. This is a classic.
Well,
because of that comment, I gotta go Hoosiers.
He changed his mind, Casey. He changed his mind on that. They do play it. I feel like they play a team with a couple black guys at the end, okay? So there is that fair assessment at the. I always like the idea of them playing in these tight. I'm like, these are like the only courts that might be smaller than Windsor Christian. Whenever I watch Hoosiers, like some of those, like remember like the end, like the guys, yeah. These guys are like, we're not even fighting. This isn't even a real court. They're like fighting over that. I'm like, I've had people say that to me. So I go Hoosiers as well. Glory Road, it's a good movie, but it's Hoosiers is too. I like it's more of a real. I don't know. I just kind of like the idea of that one.
I feel like Coach Carter and Glory Road would have been a good choice. When they had the white man out.
I guess we got to put Casey to the test then. Are we going Coach Carter or a Glory Road?
I mean, they measure the court length, the width, the hoop, and it's
10 feet.
See, this is basketball. We play on the same hoops, just different. I don't know. It's just.
I get you. All right, I'll give it to you. All right, I got a few more here for you. We'll go back. I got another one with Will Ferrell, Brian, for you. This one I thought might I'll be interested. I think I know where Johnson will go, but we'll go. I got Rush Hour or Talladega Nights. Like these are like too hard. This is hard for me, so that's why. Like Brian, you go Rush Hour or Talladega Nights?
I was more of a Talladega Nights guy than Rush Hour personally.
I definitely go Rush Hour. It's not even
Rush
close.
Hour in a landslide.
What do you got, Jace?
That's a lot closer than you.
Yeah, Talladega Nights has some. They got some good lines in that movie.
Like with the kids when they're yelling out "Anarchy." We don't know what it is, but it sounds great.
Come on, Chuck.
The best part's at the dinner table. They're yelling at their grandpa.
There's some good race scenes too. Like the part where he's like stabbed himself in the. And there, when they're at Applebee's, I enjoy that part.
It's not Rush Hour. Rush Hour wins.
I like Rush Hour too.
I go with Rush Hour. I mean, Brian does have a valid. Talladega is pretty funny. I mean, when he's running around in his underwear and he thinks he's on fire and he's not on fire.
And that kid, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Shake.
I'm gonna come at you like a spider monkey.
And the dad's great in that too. When he puts the box of cereal under it, he thinks it's cocaine, and he's like, "You better go now, son."
That's a good one as well. So that's a hard one. Rush Hour for me though. That's it's an automatic scene with that one.
I'll go Rush Hour too, or just Rush Hour, I should say. But that's Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. I mean, it's
never touch a black man's radio.
It's so many classic lines. It's like you got to be hungry or something. What do you want? Like a cup of noodles or? I mean, it's kind of racial.
Yeah, it was. No, it was, but it was funny, and like the whole way they did that movie was like great.
Yeah, like when he goes to like the.
I'm undercover. Hold on, let me see.
Remember when they go to San Francisco, Chinatown? He's like, go walk around, and maybe you'll run into one of your friends or something.
Yeah, he's like, your cousin's like, you're right. Like you're right. That was good. Like, there's a lot. I haven't watched that in actually probably been probably longer than 5 years where I've seen the whole movie. So I should probably watch that one again.
Like, what is that, man? It's cigarette, man. That's more like cig of weed.
It's like weed. I know. All right, two more for you. Independence Day, starring William Smith, controversial. No, Will Smith, or another fan favorite from the late 90s, Armageddon. Which one are you? They're both kind of like these weird kind of action
science fiction
movies that will never, hopefully never happen.
Yeah, hopefully.
What do you have for that one, Tyler? Where you going?
I got Mission Impossible. I mean.
No,
not Mission Impossible. Independence Day, excuse me. With Will Smith, who's the president? Bill Paxton? No, not Paxton. Another guy. Pullman. Bill Pullman.
Yeah, he's good.
He gives one of the best speeches in movie history at the end. This isn't it's the world's Independence Day. It's just a great movie. The beautiful African black woman in it. I can't think of who is that. The girl that went to the VMAs with Vivica Fox.
Yeah, 50 Cent was one of her biggest regrets.
Yeah, she just came out with that.
That's
she said she wasn't submissive enough. Women take notes. Women take notes. Just kidding.
Are you talking to your wife? No, are you talking to her at the podcast? All right, so you go. I remember Independence Day. I remember seeing that in LA over with my parents. And I don't know if Casey was with me at that one because he would have been a little younger, but he might have saw it in the theater. Brian Armageddon was Uncle Bruce there. A lot of people like that one. Ben Affleck.
I got surprised people don't go with Armageddon here.
There you go.
That was a great movie. There's so many good lines in it when they're walking, to the spaceship, and the guy say, "Talk about the wrong stuff."
Talk about the wrong stuff, and the idea of trying to go onto an asteroid to blow it up it's quite a feat there. You'd have to do.
And he's going through the tools, Bruce Willis. He's like, "What is this? An ice cream scoop?"
One of my favorite stories about Armageddon, Casey, is when we went to Disneyland. We're in there. I forget what ride it is. I want to say it's the one where there's one where like you fly it. It's like your video flyover. Basically, you're flying over. I forget what one that one. Tyler, you'll have to help me out. It's like when you're in line at Disneyland. It's like there's like it definitely has like there's pilot stuff everywhere. Like which one isn't that California ride or whatever is it? You're on mute. Which one is that though? It's like I think it's the California thing.
Something California.
Okay, so
not California. What's it called? Keep talking about.
So we're doing that. We're in the line for that ride, and my sister's now fiance is in line with us, and like he's talking.
Soren.
Yeah, Soren said the world or whatever it's called, and he's talking about this story, and like he's like, yeah, there's a story about this pilot. They had to like put a bomb onto a rock to blow, and like he's like not faking it. And I go, it sounds like the Armageddon like movie, and he's and Amanda's right there, and she's like, and he was like. He thought this was like a true story. I was like, this is not a true story. I'm like, you are not. Whatever, you're getting confused with it. So I just remember him like being in line talking. I'm just thinking, I'm like, this sounds like Armageddon he's talking about. I was like, I don't think that actually happened where somebody went on to it. So you got that case, you got Armageddon or Independence Day?
I've never seen Armageddon.
Wow.
Have you seen Pearl Harbor?
It used to be on TNT all the time.
But Independence Day. The only thing I know about Armageddon is from Speed, the movie, where Sandra Bullock says, like, let Armageddon on or something like that. That's all I know about it.
Armageddon on.
That's all I know. But Independence
So
Day,
for that reason, I'm going with Armageddon. No, that reason.
Sandra Bullock said it. I mean,
Independence Day, one of my favorite things is when the guy, the crop plane, he rides the plane for the crop.
Oh, yeah, the guy from the bowling movie.
Very famous, but when he's at the end and he's to have to go into the light beam or the laser beam that blows up the whole ship, and right before he goes like there, he's like, "All right, you alien bastards!" He's like, "After me," and he's like, "Up yours!"
Yeah, that guy's always kind of been boys. Was he Boy Meets World at that time?
Randy Quaid.
Tyler, you got something there before I get to my last one?
I mean, Randy Quaid, great that movie. And he got they went up his according to him earlier in the movie because they probed him. So it was like kind of a
he's got a little more offensive,
a little payback,
a little payback for that one. All right, so two different movies here, but these are what you would probably say are the best movies, maybe in terms of Oscar winner. So we'll go with this one. Obviously, it made the most money at the time when me and you were growing up. Titanic is on the list. Still a good movie, but kind of a slow process sometimes to get there a little bit with it. And obviously, a lot of tragedy at the end. And then Last of the Mohicans. What if you had those two movies, Last of the Mohicans, with one of Tyler's favorite actors in the world, Daniel Day, in it, and then you have one of Tyler's other favorite actors, Big Leo, in there as well. Which one do you go with, Tyler?
Oh, I got Titanic all day. I love Titanic. Like it's a 3-hour movie, but it's all the right spots. It's all the right. It's fun from the beginning to the end. It has I don't know. It's one of my favorite movies. The whole spitting scene is hilarious, where he's teaching this proper girl how to spit, and then her mom walks up and just being in that situation. It resonates with me. Not that I've ever been on a boat that's been sinking in freezing cold water, but
Atlantic Ocean doesn't sound fun at that time.
The Titanic it's one of my favorite movies. As funny as that sounds, that's so weird.
That's a good movie.
That's a romance
movie.
It's a friggin' action-packed movie. It's good. I like Titanic.
I randomly saw that movie with Jared Diaz. That's why I don't know why.
Sounds like a date.
We did not do the Titanic scene after that. We did not do that.
Did you wear this? Only this.
Did he paint you?
No, he did not paint. He did not paint. You going
Get
Uncle
on the
Mo?
couch.
Sideways. Uncle Mo or Titanic?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Titanic just because I couldn't watch Last of the Mohicans when I was a kid because I guess my parents thought it was too sexual, so they made us go to our room.
But I don't remember the
Look at Kate Winslet's breast, Brian.
I do not remember that part.
But I probably watched that when I was like older. But I'm saying when we were kids, like my parents rented Last of the Mohicans. They're like,
Whoa,
you guys
Johnson,
can't watch this.
Deborah Johnson out of the room now. We got what do you got, Case?
Titanic. It's just a classic. Leo. That was kind of, I think. I know he did some movies obviously before stuff, but I think that's the one that really, really put him on the map. Just a phenomenal movie. Just like Tyler said, action packed all the way through. Has its moments, but I mean it's a romantic love story with a tragic ending, obviously, and there's some fun parts, like Tyler said, throughout the movie. Not the end, obviously, but throughout the movie, kind of get to learn about people, the wealthy, the poor. He wouldn't even be on that boat if it weren't for X amount of reasons, and so the story in general is just a phenomenal movie.
Can I tell you a quick story about me and Casey and our personalities? We were watching Titanic one day, and we noticed this guy jumping off the back of the Titanic, and he hits the propeller, and he goes down, and all of a sudden he's like, he hits him, and we rewinded it like 3 times.
You guys are the reason they made Grand Theft Auto.
He hits the propeller and then goes, oh
yeah. It's a great
a little. I'm surprised he survived the propeller then, right? Oh, he's still. I'm gonna go off. To me, it's Last of the Mohicans. Like you guys brought for all the same reasons. There's action in that movie. There's the scenes where they get attacked there, where they're going through. Walking through that. I'm always like, you don't necessarily need to be playing drums though while you're going through this area. And so those are my favorite parts with the army. I love the interaction between the captain and like him and the British and the French involved in that movie. And then, like you said, the end is like that's what some of the music in there is still pretty good as well. The end is my favorite part though, like where you're running up the hill there. I'm like, what car do you got? You gotta have to be in shape to run up that mountain. My goodness. And then the lady would rather fall to her death and be basically enslaved. What was the guy's? Gosh, I always forget his name. Hannah would know it off the bad Native American guy. I forget the name before they have
Tinga Canuck.
Yeah,
Tinga.
Oh, that sounds about right. So I'll go with that. I'll go with that. But I'm gonna go Last of the Mohicans with me on that one. So that was a good segment, guys. Movies this week. Had some good conversation with it. All right, before we get out of here, winners and losers. Case, you want to do your top 10?
Darren, I would, but I was hoping we'll do it next week so we can get more of the video content to make it a little bit more. I think it'll be better if we can set it up next week for us.
All right, sounds good. That sounds like a good idea. We're going a little long anyway, so that may work out well. Tyler, what do you got for a winner or a loser this week?
Winner, I got started off Daren Fox scoring 109 points the last 2 games. He seemed to he was the clutch time player of the year 2 years ago, whatever that means. But he's really found a groove where he's one of the best point guards in the league. I think he's underrated at this point, and he's one of the best.
What do you got, Brian, for winner of the week?
I gotta go John Gruden. He's making a comeback. Podcast hired him, so that's always cool to see John Gruden on a podcast.
Uncle John back in the podcast game. Everybody likes to see. That's why when he started talking, somebody did a monologue on him the other day where he's saying just the same gibberish for 20 seconds. So yeah, well, Case, what do you got for winner of the week?
I got John Jones.
Knockout.
An absolute savage, man. Just the leg kicks and he's the best UFC fighter I've ever seen in my life, and just that kick to the ribs. I don't know if you guys got to watch any of the highlights or how familiar with it, but last night took the title belt, made Stojakic. He retired. He said that's his last fight. And man, that talk about and you could almost hear the ribs broke. It was just, John Jones, just amazing, dude. No, he's had his troubles, but an amazing fighter.
Doug.
I'm going to go winner or for winner of the week. They stay undefeated. Those Cleveland Cavaliers, Douglas's Cavs. They do stay undefeated again. Another Sunday here. They are undefeated. So I'll go with the Cavs for my winner of the week. Losers of the week. Brian, you got a loser this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. It looks like he's considering retirement because there's no more guaranteed money after this year, and he knows that the Jets experiment's been a disaster. So, just go to retirement, old man.
Retirement sounds like a win to me at this point in my life.
Yeah.
What do you got, Tyler, for loser of the week?
I got two losers. I was in Berkeley doing a job. I had to go to CVS for some ibuprofen. I had a little headache. And everything's locked up except sunscreen. Those racist sons of bitches. How do you have sunscreen not locked up? Everything else in the store is locked up. There's blatant racism by CVS. And then another loser is Michael Chandler. I mean, yeah, he lost 4 or 5 rounds. He almost knocked him out in the 5th round, but then he cuts a promo like he just had a big win and calling out all these guys. I don't know. It's just loser mentality to me. You lose all these fights. You don't just get to keep calling out bigger names and keep fighting.
Casey, you got loser of the week?
I'm going to go with Brian Kelly, LSU coach. Just been an awful season for them. I don't even think they can.
I would hate playing for that guy.
He seems like a dick, to be honest.
I agree.
I don't know if you saw him berating the player on the sideline. And they caught him, people are great at lip reading now, but it's basically along the lines of you're uncoachable. And, basically,
it's probably true, but
but maybe the kid needs that. Like, I don't know.
I'm not saying he can't, but he just seems in general not like. Remember that old video where he did? I don't know. He just doesn't seem like my vibe.
I had a lot of respect for the player because I think it was a few series later, the next one, he came back and he gave Brian Kelly a peace of mind of his own, and Brian Kelly was kind of like, "What the hell? Are you talking to me?" And it was kind of like, "Yeah." It's like you MF are kind of like.
Got on his case
you're
about
just
it.
all high and mighty because you're the coach, but it's like, I don't know. Brian Kelly just not my cup of tea, dude.
Yeah, that was not necessarily the best look. And you know what else wasn't the best look is Netflix in that fight. That fight was a big wash there. I kept with Flanagan was actually over here with Taylor that we were playing Catan before, and then we started watching it, and I was like, they were all like, Tyson can knock him out. And I was like, okay, I just want to remind you, this guy is literally 10 years younger than my dad. Like he is, and I'm only like he's 58 years old fighting a 27-year-old guy. Yes, Jake Paul is a great fighter. No, but it's still 31 years in boxing. Like that's a lot. I mean, after 2 rounds, it was pathetic. I don't know if you guys did watch it, but to me, that was yes, they did make a lot of money. Congratulations on that, but it was one of the worst sporting. Boxing is tough for me for that reason. It's just. I don't know. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's tough. It just never seems like it delivers.
Did you watch the women's fight before? That was absolutely.
No, I didn't watch that one. But I mean, nobody tuned in for that one. But
they did, though. It was at $50 million. It went up to $65 million for Jake. And I mean, $50 million tuned into a women's boxing match is something. Like, that doesn't happen without Jake and Mike Tyson.
That was a fight.
Obviously, that fight was absolutely great.
Man,
the Tyson fight.
But that was pathetic, Tyson. That was just stealing money.
No, it was. I agree. I mean, after the second round, Tyson had nothing.
Dude, that cut on.
I do applaud Jake for not knocking him out. I do think he held back. Like Dana coming on and saying, "Oh, you couldn't do anything with Mike." I was like, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah. He could have hit him harder.
That cut on that woman's eye, dude. That was
nasty.
The headbutt.
That was pretty gnarly. Do you get another winner of the week? I was watching old school TV with because the kids were watching some show and. That they like, right? They like shows now where like people have like hidden rooms, like they like try to hide from like it's like weird kids YouTube stuff where whatever kind of shows like no, not doing that. Like, and so I was like, no, these are the shows that I used to watch when I was a kid. Remember Double Dare? Double Dare, yeah, yeah.
On your mark, get set, go! Run on through in one ear out the other.
I was like, now this is pure entertainment. Look at that. You had to get like 9 flags. I forgot about the hamster wheel. They had to get that little thing going.
How easy is this? The first 2 parts, at least.
I think that's. And then isn't like the parents involved at some point in this? There were some interesting things that went on with this show. But Case, I remember we wanted to do this. This was part of it for a little. We thought we could We thought we'd do that. The hardest one, they had like some hard ones where you had to like find, like this one would get hard ones. You had to find the flag. I remember, like, oh, she got it
I
easily
would
though.
have just dumped the pool upside down and.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's in the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Come on, there it is.
Well, that guy told her where it was.
Come on, Mark Summers, do your job. That's not where you're at. Mark's not. He cheated up there then. Oh, he's at number 8. They got to go one more. The Sunday slide. This was. Oh, what an effort! What a passion! What desire! What a feel for the game. That's where it was at. That was the old school things that we liked around there for entertainment. So I was just giving the kids a bad time. Like that's what we're at with it. So, all right, good show. Hey, I think guys, maybe we'll do a show next week, but we won't like call it. We'll kind of make it maybe a special or something like that if we do something. Because I think we want to do the next episode 200 on that Friday. Hopefully that would work later that evening for you, or because we all have the day off. So maybe we can make that work for a special episode 200. Maybe I can get McGurk even in person up here. If not, then we'll make it work over online as well. Maybe live from the Wolf House. We'll do it live. I'll see if I can read it out live from the Wolf House, episode 200. I could have some of the local fan favorites on around there.
Brock Bowers' grandma coming on.
I can get Brock Bowers' grandma coming in. Go number 89. So that would be good. All right. Yeah, make sure you go to Papa's Pizza. Make sure we go there as well. We got there that sponsor. All right, guys. Have a good week. Enjoy the game. The games later. That was good. Good show. We will see you guys for episode